Hello book friends, I'm Jen and welcome back to my reading life. I can hardly believe it, but here we are. I am about to share with you my January pile of possibilities. These are all the books that I am considering reading in January. I have classics, I have lots of epistolary novels for Epistolary January, and I hope you will come along as I share what is in my reading stack. It's time to share my first potential reads of 2026. It is almost a new year. Can you believe that 2026 is almost upon us? I certainly can't. And I know, like many of you, the new year always feels like a fresh start, a clean slate, and I have lots and lots of fun things in my mind planned for both my reading life and for this channel as well. And I hope you will come along with me for another year of all the cozy bookish things. And today I am here to share what I am thinking about reading for January. If you're new here, I prefer to call this a pile of possibilities rather than a TBR. To be read to me feels like a must-do, like a to-do list, and pile of possibilities feels very open-ended, like I could read these, I could not read these. Does it really matter? No, it doesn't. Of course not. I am a mood reader at heart, and while I like to make lists as well, those are the two sides to my personality, and so I like to have a little bit of both. I like to have a little bit of structure, but I like to have lots of room to change my mind. If you're the same, then maybe you want to consider making a pile of possibilities for your month. Maybe that's 1 book, 3 books, 10 books, 20 books, or maybe you still just want to pick and choose as you go. However you want to structure your reading life, that is how you should do it. I always say, read what you want, read how you want, read when and where you want. Your reading life should be what you want to make it. But enough of that, let us get into the books because I have quite a few to share today. I, of course, have 2 big things happening in January. First of all, of course, I am hosting the 2nd annual Jane-uary Jane Austen read-along in January. And for this year, we have selected to read Sense and Sensibility. All of the information for Jane Austen January is in the description box below, and you can find the information there. You can join on my community page, you can join via Discord, you can join me for my live streams that will be coming up both mid-month and then a wrap-up at the end of the month. Lots of good things happening, so I hope you will come along and read or reread Sense and Sensibility with us in January. And then to go along with Sense and Sensibility, I like to have an alternate optional read. And for this year, we are going to be reading the selected letters of Jane Austen. Now, I have this Dover Thrift edition. You can pick whichever edition of her selected letters you wish to read from. We will talk about her letters very generally, and so I don't think you need to read this specific edition. Find an edition or a collection of some of her letters. This is going to be a very laid back part of Jane Austen January, so please don't feel that you need to seek out this exact edition, though I will link it in the description box below if you would like to get the Dover Thrift edition. These are very inexpensive editions, and so if you'd like something nonfiction as well as something that relates to Epistolary January, then you could pick up Jane Austen's selected letters as well and join us for that piece of January. Now, I have added a couple of other things to my own personal Jane Austen January reading. And first, because when I talked about this book in my Jane Austen birthday video, I said that maybe I would do this during Jane Austen January and vlog about it and share it with you all. So I am going to be doing that. And that is, I'm going to be working my way through the Jane Austen Escape Room book. So while this is a read, it's really more kind of like an activity book. So I will be working my way through the different puzzles and things in here, and I will take you along with me. And at the end of the month or early in February, I will share the vlog of, can I solve the escape room puzzle, and can I figure out what am I supposed to do in this? Oh, I have to help Elizabeth Bennet win back Mr. Darcy before it's too late. So that is my plan for January, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I love puzzles. And then lastly, I really want to finish Jane Austen's Bookshelf by Rebecca Romney. I had started this last year, just got sidetracked from it from no particular reason other than that I had lots of other things I was reading. But I really want to finish listening to it on audio because I listened to part of it on audio and then of course my hold got returned to the library. I'm on the holds list again and I'm hoping, I think it will come in January, and so that will be perfect timing. I can finish it up. I'm about halfway through, so it shouldn't take me too long to finish listening to it. But if you don't have this on your shelf and you're a Jane Austen fan, I highly recommend picking it up. It is wonderful and it will make you want to read all of the authors that potentially influenced Jane Austen, the women that she would have read, and I think Rebecca Romney did a fantastic job putting this book together. Before we get into my selections for Epistolary January, I have a couple of other books that I have on my sort of must read. They're part of Buddy Reads book club, and so I wanted to share those with you as well. For my Gilded Age Buddy Read group, we are going to be reading Madame de Treymes by Edith Wharton. Now, this is not this entire book. Madame de Treymes is a short story / novella. I think it's only about 80 pages long in the edition that I have here. So we're going to read that together and discuss it. And I'm very much looking forward to continuing on with my Edith Wharton journey and education. I love her so much. And my little group that reads her together, we just have such wonderful discussions. So I had never heard of this novella by her, but I'm very excited to give it a read. And then last but certainly not least is our pick for the Cozy Reader Book Club. And in January, we are reading Penny Plain by O. Douglas. And this is going to be my first O. Douglas book. I don't really know anything about Penny Plain, though I have heard good things about it. I'm very much excited to discover O. Douglas. There is a fantastic Kindle edition of O. Douglas's works. I think it is 10 of her novels, and the Kindle book, as of the last time I checked, was $2.99. So if you are looking to give O. Douglas a try, that Kindle edition might be worth a purchase. I will have it linked down in the description box below, so be sure to go and check that out. But very much excited to finally read her. And then, of course, I will have 9 other books also on my Kindle that I could read once I finish Penny Plain, but very excited for that one. And of course, if you want to join the Cozy Reader Book Club, please go and sign up on our Substack. That is listed again in the description box, also in my channel information, so you can find that lots of places. Sign up for our Substack mailing list, and that will put you on our monthly mailing list, so you get all the information for our discussions. So be sure to do that if you want to join us for Penny Plain and all of the other books we are reading in 2026. And now, of course, let us get into all the books that I have picked to potentially read for Epistolary January. Now, this is just a small selection. I have also quite a few other epistolary novels that could potentially be in consideration to read this month, but these are the top of my list. And I will be having a video coming out a little bit later this month where I'll be sharing some more epistolary novels on my own personal TBR. So stay tuned for that if you're looking for even more potential books to read. But let us start off with what I am hoping and planning to read for Epistolary January. If you need any information about Epistolary January, again, that's all in the description box. I will link my announcement video here in the cards as well, so be sure to check that out. And I am co-hosting this along with a few other lovely ladies. This read along was started by Anne from In Search of Wonder, and she so generously reached out to me this year and asked if I would like to co-host, and you know how I love epistolary novels, so here we are. And to start us off for Epistolary January, I am actually hosting a read-along in just a few days for New Year's Day. We are going to be reading together 84 Charing Cross Road by Helene Hanff. I'm going to be having a live stream where we will get together and have some reading sprints. So some dedicated time for you to read through this lovely epistolary book. And if you've never read it before, or if it's a reread, it is a wonderful way to start off the new year. It's so bookish and cozy and lovely. And I'm looking forward to chatting about it with you during the live and also having some time for us to get through some of the pages in this. It's quite short. You can definitely read it in one day. So I hope you will join me for the live streams. We'll get some reading time in. And this is one of my very, very favorite books. So I'm excited to kick off Epistolary January with 84 Charing Cross Road. And then next up for Epistolary January is our group read. And for our group read, we are reading Wired Love by Ella Cheever Thayer. And this is a romance in dots and dashes. And I think this is written entirely in like telegrams to and from the characters. I'm very excited to read this one. I got it on Kindle. I think it might also be on Project Gutenberg. So I will link both the Kindle version, which I think is free, and the Project Gutenberg edition as well, so that you can get this book and read it along with us. And we are going to discuss it in our live wrap up at the end of the month over on Anne's channel. And I will have the link to that live stream as well for you. So I hope you will join us in reading Wired Love. It sounds wonderful. But not only does this count as the group read, but you could also check off a few other categories for Epistolary January by reading Wired Love. So I hope you will join us for that one. And then next up is the book I'm going to be reading with my Book Jenny's Patreon group, and they selected for us to read this month These Wonderful Rumors by Mae Smith. And this is a young school teacher's wartime diary. So this is a nonfiction epistolary novel. It is written in diary format, and this follows Mae Smith's life throughout World War II. It starts in 1939 and follows Mae, I believe, throughout the entire war. It ends in January of 1946. I think this sounds wonderful, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this. And then I have just a few more books that I am hoping to get to during Epistolary January. And first up, I have the second book in the Mrs. Tim series by D.E. Stevenson. This is Mrs. Tim Carries On. And these books are all written in journal format. And so again, this qualifies for Epistolary January. I love Mrs. Tim, and I've been wanting to continue on with this series. So what better way to do that than with Epistolary January? And we're just going to follow Mrs. Tim and her family throughout the next part of their lives. And this is another book, though it is a novel that was written and set in World War II. So very much looking forward to this one. Might be a good comparison, contrast for These Wonderful Rumors. But I love Mrs. Tim. I love D.E. Stevenson. Very excited for this one. And then next up is a book that has been on my unread shelf for so very long. This might be one of the books that I've owned the longest and have not read, and that is Clara Callan by Richard B. Wright. And this is the story of two sisters, and one of them moves from Ontario, Canada to New York. And I think the other one stays behind. And the one sister becomes sort of a minor celebrity. She's an actress. And so we just sort of follow along with their lives together. And this is written in letters between the sisters. And I am very excited to give this a try. I hope I enjoy this. And I really would love to finally get it off of my unread shelf. And then next is a book that has a connection to Jane Austen, and that book is Faye Weldon's Letters to Alice on First Reading Jane Austen. Now, when I first heard about this book, I thought it was nonfiction, but it is actually fiction. So this is Faye Weldon's imaginings of, I believe, an aunt writing to her niece about Jane Austen. The niece has been complaining about how she's, no fun to read. And so this is about why she is worth read. And I'm very much looking forward to this one. It's not very long, so I'm hoping I can get through this. Again, a novel written in letters and another connection to Jane Austen. What's not to love about that? And then next is a book that my mom loaned to me to read, and so I am very much wanting to get to this one in January, and that is Gardening Letters to My Daughter by Anne Scott James. And this has some replies as well from her daughter, Claire Hastings. Basically, this is what it says on the cover. It is her letters to her daughter about gardening, and my mom loves to garden. I have a bit of a brown thumb, so I would love to be more adept at gardening, but maybe this book will give me some inspiration, and I'm very much looking forward to it. My mom said it's so lovely, and so that sounds perfect. So another nonfiction epistolary pick for the month. I'm very, very much excited to read this one, and yeah, I really, really hope I get to this one in January. And then finally is a book that I wanted to read last year, and then I just didn't. I don't know what happened. So this is going to be the year. And even if I don't finish this in January, I definitely want to get it started in January. And that is The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady by Edith Holden. And this is such a beautiful, beautiful book. If you've never seen it, it's out of print, so it's difficult to get a hold of, but if you can find a secondhand copy of it. Actually, it might be in print, but this edition of it isn't available anymore. And it's so wonderful, and it just goes through the year, and she talks all about the natural world, and it's full of poetry and quotes and just her observations, and I very much want to read this. I've heard wonderful, wonderful things about it. So again, another one high on my list. I think I'm going to put this on my bedside table, and then I can just, read a little bit of it every night before bed, which sounds just like a lovely way to end every day. And that will do it for my pile of possibilities for January. Let us chat down in the comments. What are you planning to read for January? Are you participating in either Jane Austen January or Epistolary January? Are you joining us for the Cozy Reader Book Club? What else is on your own personal pile of possibilities? Or are you just going to see where the wind takes you? I would love to chat all things books and piles of possibilities and New Year reading down in the comments below. And if you're here but you don't have anything you'd like to add, but you'd like to leave a comment, why don't you leave some sort of letter writing emoji, since we are doing Epistolary January, since Jane Austen was a writer and we're reading her selected letters. So some sort of writing, letter, mailbox, something along those lines. Leave those emojis. I love seeing those, and they really do help my channel. And if you enjoyed this video, if you could hit that like button and also that hype button if you're watching this on your YouTube mobile app, that would be fantastic. And of course, if you're new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I would love to have you join my bookish community. And I want to give a very special thank you to all of you who watched all of my many Vlogmas videos over the course of this past month. I so appreciate you all being here and all of your lovely comments. It has been wonderful to read through all of them. I'm still working my way through them. There are so many. Thank you so much. Extra special thank you to those of you who hit the super thanks button in December. I greatly appreciate it. It was a lot of work to put Vlogmas together. It was a labor of love, and I was so happy that so many of you enjoyed it. So thank you for that. And this wraps up my very last video of 2025. I will see all of you in the new year. I hope to see most of you on New Year's Day for our 84 Charing Cross Road live stream read along. And until then, I'm wishing you all a very safe and happy new year. And of course, happy reading. Bye.